it. I see myself more of a star maker. I don't want to compete with the stars because I know inside me I'm bigger than a star because I make stars. I don't need to outshine my stars. When you are super confident of yourself, you don't mind giving your space for people to blow and shine.
This is a very beautiful perspective to life because
it takes confidence to be very comfortable at what you do and not be bothered the fact that you are. I mean, I know people who want to even be bigger than their artists, but I feel it's a failure if you produce an artist and that I want to see my artists shine, outshine everybody and be all over the world, including me. I don't have to be a hindrance between him and this and the star. And I mean.
Okay, so I had a very good introduction that I was coming to give for this gentleman sitting beside me, because when he entered the studio, I was like, wait, this is the different look of JMJ. Just in case you don't know, this man is responsible for a lot of hits in Ghana. You have no idea. All your favorites too. He has hit songs with them. He's one of the dope producers we have today. He's looking fly, and he's seated here for deep dive. We are diving into conversations with JMJ, why he even added baby to his name when he was a baby so many years ago. And then deep dive, obviously, we're going to look at a little bit politics with him. Not, please, when I say politics, not partisan, but I mean the creative art space, the improvements, and the way forward. JMJ, you're welcome to OnePlay Africa. This is the deep dive.
Yeah, thank you.
You're looking fly though.
You. The last time I didn't get to see the hairs on your leg. Today, I hope the fans can see that.
Today I was like you. As a young man, see me if I had worn my normal shirt there.
Oh, like Nanaya would have had to excuse us.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so then the first time, I think you have been working with Samini for a long time, but anytime I hear the name JMJ, the first thing that comes to mind is Wo Betty, Rhythm of the Gods. Why Wo Betty? Is that your jingle?
No. Wo Betty, Rhythm of the Gods. So when we gave back to the asset Rhythm of the Gods, like 2019, Wo Betty, as enjoyed at the industries, they were the sponsors for our press launch. So then obviously they had become the mother sponsors of it. So we had to inculcate their brand into the content. So it became, instead of it being Rhythm of the Gods, it became Wo Betty, Rhythm of the Gods. So as in, they presented or they supported us to have come that far, basically.
Okay, so one of their products.
Yes, was the name Wo Betty.
Oh, okay,
so it's not my name, but it's the name of one of the products from Joy Daddy Industries.
And that is, so what is your signature? Because all the time,
you know what happened? That song, that project, in fact, all the Rhythm of the Gods, I don't put my name inside, my tag inside. The reason is that each of the songs is me featuring the artist. So I felt there was no need of letting people know again it's me. Okay. Because it's like my own song and I'm featuring Equia and I'm can be say me
oh my God. DJ Khaled should hear this.
On the Uncle Bunny being 10,000 times. It's nice. It's just that sometimes I try to fight to hide myself from some of these things. Me time shut down the idea of showcasing myself. I always like working in the dark, but it just got to a point that my team said no, Ejuma we saw see a bear there. And he say a tongue we need will be our life won't mean for So you have no choice. I mean, ideally, a coming member. The end of the day, I say I produce the songs and it's out there and people are enjoying it. I see myself more of a star maker. I don't want to compete with the stars because I know inside me I'm bigger than a star because I make stars. I don't need to outshine my stars. When you are super confident of yourself, you don't mind giving your space for people to blow and shine.
This is a very beautiful perspective to life because
it takes confidence to be very comfortable at what you do and not be bothered the fact that you are. I mean, I know people who want to even be bigger than their artists, but I feel it's a failure if you produce an artist and that I want to see my artist shine, outshine everybody and be all over the world, including me. I don't have to be a hindrance between him and this and in the world. But you see, this is what it is. It's confident. So I don't see any star and feel like, wow. Because I always remember their beginning. I always remember where I met them. I always remember when they walked into the studio. I always remember when they were hungry. I always remember when they were sharing their dreams, their passion, where they want to be. And then I come in like, I like that. We are going to do this. We are going to make this happen. And praise the Lord, we've reached there. And then I want to come and block the shine. No. That person came to you because he knows that you're a star maker. He knows that you shine the light on them and then they blow. So I don't need to. There's something they say is in Akan. The people who make the kings, the queen makers, right? He knows who she is. She doesn't need to come and compete with the king. The king is making all the noise, but he put him on. So
does this thing that you're talking about account for a lot of sort of delay in the Ghanaian music space? You know, there are artists that they have signed other artists, or there are people that have signed other artists that they have had their time. I mean, when you look at it, you should feel like, oh, you know what? There's a new wave, a new sort of energy, music coming out, being churned out, that you would think that they will sit back and let the new crop of artists they have picked to flow. But you see them still sort of...
Okay, for artists, it don't work that way.
Okay.
Now, let me show you what happened. What's the business of an artist? Artists are people who, it's an inborn nature of them. They're always craving for this light, where the Stardom's vibe are. Even his own mother, he won't want to share that Stardom space with. So if you see artists who is able to pick another artist, and no matter how little it is, he's able to share that space with them, that's somebody with a bigger heart. Because his whole business is the fact that he wants to be everywhere. And out of that, put food on his table. I mean, he don't sell tomatoes. He don't sell water.
Even the tomato seller wants to be alone in that space.
So if you say, oh, he should take a seat back and then put shine on the younger ones. Yes, that's an idea. But as long as he hasn't stopped singing, he hasn't stopped performing, he's still on the road, what the new guy wants and what the old guy wants is all the same, the shine. But it takes people like us. That's what I'm saying. For you as a producer, yes, you can shine in your space. You see, it boils back to confidence. I know within me that there's no artist that I'll meet that I'll feel belittled. Because I know what I do. I know my impact in that person's life. And that's my calling. So I appreciate and I love my calling. My calling is to do what? Unearth talent. Give them the platforms. Introduce them to the world. Let them shine. Teach them how to shine. In fact, if possible, teach them how to outshine even the stars, if possible. And that's my job. I should do it with pride and with confidence and with satisfaction. Where is the satisfaction? The fact that everybody's now looking up to the artist. I don't care if the world don't know. It's just not fair. But then if the world don't even know, I don't have to go and be competing with the artist to say, I need to shine. No. I believe I'm shining in my own corner. How do I shine? Anytime I bring up a new act and the whole world is loving him, my star is just escalating, it's blossoming, it's going to the next level.
Do you think producers in Ghana have had this understanding, and are they even harnessing the fact that they are the real star makers and they are the big deals?
Recently, Mr. Gazi had a master class, and I was privileged to talk to some of them. And I remember telling the young ones that, listen, you are blessed because your time things have changed. It's going to get to a time you will just have to pay an artist and let him come and sing on your beat, and you own it. Mm-hmm. He's a performer. You paid him as a performer on your beat. Now, what it is that it's knowledge, it's experience, it's exposure that has brought me this far to be very confident of myself and know that I know how big I am without you having to tell me. So I don't need to feel inferior or feel like, I helped this guy and now he's all over and he's not even appreciating me, or he's not calling me, or he's not coming to me again. I know, I've been there before. I know how, as a producer, you put together all your energy behind a particular artist, the artist blows, and the next thing you see he's in another person's studio. I know how it feels. But like I said, experience, confidence, and exposure has made me see a lot of stuff. I've produced artists who nobody knew them to becoming somebody, and they don't even pick my calls. But I had to grow above that bitterness. I have to grow above it and also still love that person. And then say, wait a minute, my job has been done. What's your job? My job was to show the world that this is super talent. And I did that. The fact that he's not doing his job, it's not even his job. To appreciate is a choice. It's a choice. If I come here and you serve me water, it's courtesy to say thank you. But it's not everybody that would say thank you. And you don't go asking them, why didn't you say thank you when I offered you water? Some people really will do. Maybe in the past I used to. But I had to grow above that and realize that, wait a minute, my calling is to serve you the water. And if I'm serving you the water, I must serve it with pride and dignity. And know that my office is very important. If I don't serve you that water, you could choke. I could actually put something in that water and then you could die. So I am very powerful. You don't need to remind me. It's just beautiful that as I serve you the water and you're a smart person and you know that this water was given to me by this guy. I don't know where he took it from. He could have put something into it, but I trusted him. I need to appreciate him. Do you understand? It's a choice. You can't force people to appreciate you. Immediately you start forcing them, that's when bitterness comes in. And as a creative person, once you keep bitterness in you can't grow. Creativity don't live at where bitterness is. Creativity thrives where there's freedom. Okay. Like creative people, you can't box us. You can't tell us stay within these parameters. We won't function. We always are out of this world. I always say, I was on radio today saying that music is a calling. So if you are not called, you are just a fanatic around it. But those who have been called, like for music, they are possessed with the call. Let me tell you something I discovered. Proud to Sarkodie being a hip hop artist, you all know. Sarkodie had a Hip Life album with Apietus before. He didn't give up. He went and came back again. I'll tell you a story again. Kwakese was a reggae artist when he met Hammer. Hammer said, wait a minute, I'm going to transform you. Then now we have Kwakese the rapper. Do you understand me?
Yes.
So what it is that, you see, back again, we are star makers. So we know what we are. There are others who don't know that they are star makers. But I think with time, they will grow to realize it, that this is my job. Like Nana is holding the camera on me and is going to expose me to the whole world to see. Should I not leave that camera and also come and sit here right now? It's a different ball. Who will be controlling the camera?
That's true.
But if Nana is not proud of the fact that without the camera, I won't shine to the world to see, and I need to come and validate him and make him feel like, thank you. It's nice to honor him, but if I'm not, it should not put the next fire off. But if it does, what it means is Nana don't know his calling. And that applies to all of us. That applies to life in every aspect.
Wow. There has been this other conversation. It feels like in Ghana specifically, we lack education when it comes to music.
Yes.
Mostly on the side of the artist, because then I know when you contract the duty or the work of a producer on the beat, when you pay him, certain type of project demand that they deserve even lifetime share in the project.
Yep.
I know there's the sync licensing and all of that.
Yes.
We need education, and you being the master of that ceremony. Let me give you the platform.
We are all still learning.
Yes, but I mean, today I want you to give us some education. I mean, a little masterclass here for us.
Okay.
Something small, like some 2-minute masterclass, and then now we'll dive into JMJ before JMJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
A queer before JMJ. Okay. All right, cool. So let me try and, it's very complex, super complex. Even as at my level, I'm still having to read on it, because unfortunately this part of our world, there's a lot of unknown or untapped information when it comes to entertainment in Africa. There are virtually no laws. In fact, virtually no laws, basically. So people come in and take advantage of that fact that there is no law protecting the creative art space. Ideally, let's say, for instance, let's call this maybe MTV, or let's say this is MTV Studios. Okay, so this is a content that Nanaya working for MTV, employed by MTV. Maybe he came to MTV with this concept, and then he's been doing that, producing this content, and MTV is airing it. Okay, so let's say after about 5 years, Nanaya is no longer working with MTV. But you know, this is his brainchild, this concept of creating this content, and then they are feeding MTV. If Nanaya leaves and they still are producing that content, there's a percentage that has to go to him. Why? Because he created that content. He's the owner of that content, the idea behind it. He owns it. Outside, you copyright it before you even send it to the MTV people. And so once they like it, they'll now sit down with you and put a contract. Maybe we want to buy it off him because we don't want some years you come and see us that we are still using, or we want to share proceed with him. All that conversation is hard.
Even though he was employed and being paid.
Exactly. Unless he came to meet the script. Like for instance, if we employ anybody here, let's say your seat for instance, if we employ anybody I should not be shocked 2 years time to come and meet a new host interviewing me. That host came to meet a content that was already built, established, and he's just been coached to continue. Sometimes he's also allowed to add on, improvise, but then the mother brain was not him. So if that person goes, they are not liable to anything. But let's say you, for instance, you one day call Nanel. You see this 30 minutes thing we have been doing, I have an idea. Within 15 minutes to 20, that 5 minutes, listen to this. Let's switch the script. Let's maybe do this. And now goes to think, wow, that's brilliant. I like that idea. Okay, what does that mean? It means we will need to create another X content or do something. That is your brainchild. In our world, we honor ideas. Ideas have to be honored. Ideas have to be protected. In the States, everybody who developed, produced, or invented something is always honored. There are something called patent, ownership rights to it. The person who discovered the bulb, the person who developed
light,
all of that, they've all been duly credited. So should I today, a bulb manufacturing company, even come up with whatever, because the brain began from there has to be. But here, like I said, the laws are not really in effect. So Yamadumi Ukoka, they see, oh yeah, long, they talk too much, and a bueno, what tonunium, and autonunium, Nisika Bao, no bomb, or bon home money, and we greedy, you want to take the money from him. You know, we say all those kind of things, but I don't blame them because they don't know. Back to education again, you know. So yes, to just simplify it, there are laws that protect each of your intellectual work that you put together. That's supposed to benefit you. 100,000 years, it's on record that you invented, you created, you put together this masterpiece. So if that masterpiece is generating income, it comes to you. For the fact that we are honoring you for the fact that you were able to put your brain together and give us a genius act, basically.
Do you think that the right structures, here I mean policies, that are supposed to be put in place, whether the person is in the political space or not, do you think that delay has been long overdue?
Obviously. I mean, sometimes imagine if we had laws that the login system where radio stations log in before they play a song. And what that means is that anytime a song is played, there's some cent that goes to the artist. There's some cent that goes to the producer. There's some cent that goes to everybody that played a part. Imagine the likes of Obra for Lord Kenya, as they are like taking a back seat now. And still on Friday over to Sikaba or Sikaba, but when sure say or Sikaba no come you understand?
Yeah.
So imagine if those laws were put together. How old were you when Lord Kenya was Lord Kenya? And the music that has been played from then till now and is still being played. And imagine at the end of every quarter, there's a royalty company that has a whole documented all the radio station. Let's say Equia radio station. Today they played Obra for 2 times, and at this time and at that time, the song that was played. And they know each time if they play a song, how much cent or how much CD that is. And then in a month they put together all together another radio station, and there's a copyright society that gathers that money. And for day to their work, they take some percentage, and then on the rest they send it to the owners of the piece that they are collecting. Do you think don't you think that it would add so much to, wouldn't have issues like our old high life folks, people having to donate money and dash them money because at their dying stage they were sick, they don't even have money, people have to buy medicines for them. Sometimes when I see that, it saddens me because I ask myself, so what? One day me, I'm going to be in my old age and then I don't have money, and then maybe some number one will come and pay my hospital bill. That means that all this life that I live, the legacy and all, no. I'm not supposed to die a pauper.
Is it the NCA? Is it Gamro? Who do we finger in this situation? Especially when it comes to royalty, because now you just spoke about the media station playing and all, which means there is a general body that oversees what the media does or what they play. That's the NCA. Yeah. And then government now has to correlate with the NCA. That's but there is some form of gap. Who do we blame?
Because I hate politics. I never like to talk about this kind of things, but what it is that just as if I buy a car and the car lands at port, before I can clear the car, there are import duties and taxes and all of that. The government makes sure that I pay before the car can come out. Now, even after I've driven the car from Temaport to my house, and I have to go to another place where they'll give me a certificate to see if my car is worthy to be roadworthy, to be on the road, because the government feels like we are developing the roads. So if you want to drive on our roads, we want to make sure that your car is roadworthy. And every year I paid roadworthy for my car. So imagine if I'm driving and then I fall into a pothole and my tire burst, and police stop me after it says, I'm checking your roadworthy. How do you think I feel? When I've actually paid on a yearly basis for a road that is on time.
So it means the road was not worthy for your car now.
Even the manufacturer of my car probably should tell me that you are not supposed to drive my car on that kind of road because it's not good for the car. The government is taxing me that I am driving on their road, and they are putting the roads together, so I need to pay to drive on their road. I need to pay to clear my car, which I did all of that. So now, if on a Friday I'm coming to pick Tilly out, and then I pick her up and we are driving, and then boom, we fall into some pothole and my tire burst. Do you know outside, if that guy is a little crazy, he just needs to call a lawyer. Trust me, that conversation will end up into somebody being sued. So let's relate it to this issue. Once again, Africa, you see, a lot of things don't really work the way it's supposed to work. So I hate going to who is who, NCA, and you see all of these things, they've politicized it so much that Oko Kankra is like you are, then immediately you have enemies. I don't want to get into, I don't want to. I like the wisdom where we share ideas regardless of whether you are A or you are B. But this day, the wisdom is, are you A? I am A. Then that means we have the same wisdom. But if you are not A, it means that whatever I'm saying don't make sense to you. Everything I do is wrong. And that's where the space we have found ourselves in. And so, I see it to be a mess. Because Nyansa is not in Baku. So, if Tilly feels like I am not NDC, or I'm not in NCA, so anything I say outside the NCA, then we have a problem. We already do have a problem. And there's a wise saying, if you keep doing the same thing expecting different results, we already know who you are. And we've been doing the same thing before I got into this game, before I started learning engineering, and the same thing. And every day we keep saying, oh, this is our problems. And one person will come and promise that, vote for me, I'll come and change it. And we'll come back meeting the same. So I don't want to talk about that. I'm just interested in shining him a little corner, because the business of politics is something I'm not interested.
Let's take a break and then we'll come and now look at the corner.
Let's take a break and go out. Let's take a break and go out. Let's take a break.
We'll be right back.
OnePlay. At class to your music.